Yep.
Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Chrysler, imported from Detroit. And by Kraft Salad Dressing. Back here in Cleveland, got Phantom Cam under our control again here tonight from Progressive Field. The Tigers and the Cleveland Indians will go at it here tonight at Progressive. The Tigers trying to bounce back from a loss in last night's ball game. Here's the starting lineup for the Tigers. Presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. You're looking at the leadoff guy. That was Ian Kinsler. He'll start things off for the Tigers, followed by Torrey Hunter and Miguel Cabrera. 3 straight games of at least 3 hits. Victor Martinez, your DH. Austin Jackson in center field. Nick Castellanos at third. Bottom 3 tonight featuring Avila, Worth, and Rajay Davis. And they will be facing the right-handed offerings of Trevor Bauer.
He had 7 starts down in the minor leagues, 4-1 at Buffalo. Very good numbers, 2.15 ERA. Also had 1 spot start here in the big leagues. He's thrown a lot of strikes. That's what they wanted him to do. When he came to the big leagues last year, Bauer struggled with his command. Let's take a look at the starting defense of the Cleveland Indians. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons in the outfield. They've got that Tiger killer. That would be Michael Brantley. They've got Bourne in center field. He has won 3 Gold Gloves in the other league. David Murphy's back in right field. Chisenhall, Cabrera, Avilas, and Swisher in the infield. And Yan Gomes is their catcher tonight.
So as we come into play here tonight, we'll check out the standings in the American League Central Division. The Tigers, despite the loss last night, still very, very good. That was their first loss on this entire road trip. And they come in 7 games up on KC, 7 games up on Minnesota. The Indians desperately need to do some things in this series. They are still 9.5 games behind Brad Ausmus's Detroit Tigers.
Last couple of nights, the national audience had a chance to see the Detroit Tigers and see how good they are. They're cooking on all cylinders. They've got some of the best pitching in the league. They've got some of the best hitters in the league, and they're stealing bases at a pace that Tigers fans have not seen in a long time.
And so Kinsler now strolling to the plate on a nice night for baseball here. The lights are on. There was some rain supposedly in the area, but right now it's pretty nice. And we hope to keep it that way. Kinsler has hit safely in 5 in a row, including last night's ball game, in which he was 1 for 5 with a double. 23-year-old Trevor Bauer out of North Hollywood, California, is set to go to work. Indians coming in at 20-25 on the season.
Bauer has a fastball that will top out at about 96 miles an hour. He pitches right around 93. He's got a curveball, he's got a slider, and he also has a changeup.
And tonight's first pitch, missing high, 1 ball and no strikes on Kinsler.
But Bauer has never seen an offense like this offense that the Tigers will run at him tonight.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball third base side, foul, just out of the reach of Lonnie Chisenhall. 1 ball, 1 strike. 75 degrees, our game time temperature, not bad. Progressive Field, the site for this 3-game series before the Tigers come back home after the ball game tomorrow. And there's a wave and a miss as Ian leaves the strike zone.
That's a backup slider there. Ian saw slider come out of the hand of Bauer looking for that ball down and away, but it stayed up and he thought he could get to it. He swung right underneath it.
Kinsler batting .312, 17 multi-hit games this year. That's good for second in the American League. So he's had a nice year offensively and really with the glove as well.
And so far to Ian Kinsler, and Bauer has shown us his curveball, his slider, and his fastball.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And Kinsler pops one up. Shallow right field. David Murphy coming in. And Ian is retired. That's how we begin this one tonight. 1 away.
For the Tigers batting second, the right field.
We'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey was held hitless in last night's ball game. The average now at .294. Hunter has still hit safely in 4 of his last 5, trying to get something going here in the first inning for the Tigers. And Bauer delivers outside at low, 1 ball to no strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Strike called on Hunter, and he has a look at Gabe Morales, our home plate umpire tonight. Wasn't so sure about that last call.
Bauer throwing hard here in the first inning. Now that last fastball to Torrey Hunter, 96 miles an hour.
Ooh, and that one backs him out of there, busted him inside. 2-1. A lot of the Tigers were watching the tape before the game today of Bauer, and he was featuring that 96 mile an hour fastball. Former #1 pick. Missed outside, and the count goes to 3-1.
He had command issues last year in the big leagues. In the few starts that he did get, 4 of those. And he walked nearly a batter per inning.
So you got Cabrera waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. Driven high in the air to left center field. That ball is hit well, way back, and that ball is gone. Solo shot for Torrey Hunter, his 6th of the year, and the Tigers grab an early lead.
Torrey Hunter doesn't demonstrate it all that often these days, but when he was a youngster playing with the Minnesota Twins, his hands were lightning quick, and his hands were lightning quick on this 97-mile-per-hour fastball down in the zone from Trevor Bauer. He absolutely killed that baseball.
The outfielders barely moved.
That is a beautiful look there in Phantom Cam. You can see how he's got that firm front side, and he just dropped the bat head right in the hitting zone and allowed Bauer to supply all the power.
So Hunter hits number 6, RBI number 24. Quick lead for the Tigers tonight as Cabrera ropes one foul down the third base line. That home run went 429 feet. Miggy last night 3 out of 5.
Miggy has had 3 consecutive days where he has had 3 hits in each game.
And because of that, he is second in the American League in hitting now. In fact, the Tigers come into this game with 3 batters in the top 10 in the American League.
Made the comment about Miguel during the course of pregame today, how he has that $1 million smile. He is very confident, borderline cocky. Talks a lot of trash and he backs it up. He reminds me of Muhammad Ali when I was a kid watching him in the other sport, boxing.
Well, I wouldn't want to meet Cabrera in the ring either.
He dominates his sport the same way that Muhammad Ali dominated his sport.
Victor Cabrera at 329 and 325. Here's a ball that's hit right back in the mound and kicked by Bauer. He'll have plenty of time though, and he shovels it to first, 2 gone. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. Well, Victor and Miguel Cabrera certainly have formed a dominant 3-4 punch in this lineup. It was Martinez that homered in last night's ball game. And he will bat now with the bases empty. 8-game hitting streak now for Victor. And that home run last night was his 11th of the year. Brad Ausmus was asked before the game today about the power surge of Martinez, and he pretty much said what you said, Rod. He feels now that you're about 1.5 years away from that surgery, his legs probably feel great.
When you go through surgery, as Victor did, and you spend the entire year away from the game, all he did was work on his legs. His legs now are stronger than when he was a youngster. And remember, Victor was catching every night. That takes a toll on your body.
That's a good point. Now, occasionally, he will get a start behind the dish or at first base, but mostly DHing.
But his legs are big and they are strong because he worked on them so hard trying to come back from the injury. And it took him a while last year before he really got his swing and his confidence and his timing down. But once the calendar turned to July, Victor was on point and he was the best hitter in the American League.
Saw that last graphic. More homers than strikeouts this year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Martinez now has hit safely in 20 of his last 21 games. Bauer trying to shake off the home run from Torrey Hunter. Called up from the minor leagues to get the start here, and they feel that hopefully now he will come in the big leagues and stay in the rotation. He will get an extended look. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. That doesn't happen very often. Martinez down on strikes, and the inning is over. However, Torrey Hunter goes deep, and I mean deep. 429 feet worth. It has been a strong start for Justin Verlander as he prepares to make his start here today against the Cleveland Indians. 5-2 record. This will be start number 10 for JV as he takes the hill. Michael Bourne will start things off for the Indians. And Verlander has been staked to a 1-0 lead on the home run by Torrey Hunter with 1 out solo shot. Bourne last night 1 out of 6. Batting .248 for the season. And Verlander's first pitch slapped in the air, foul, back out of play.
Bourne didn't look very good last night. A lot of left-handers the Tigers threw at the Cleveland Indians. It was Drew Smiley, it was Koch, and it was also Ian Kroll, and they threw him a lot of breaking balls. And Justin Verlander also has that real good curveball that he likes to throw to the left-handed hitters.
Bourne looks at a ball outside, even the count now, 1 ball and 1 strike on the Cleveland leadoff man.
3 switch hitters and 4 left-handers in the 7 batters that Justin will see to start the game. And ran out there by the manager Terry Francona.
Lifted in the air to center field, right at Austin Jackson. Barely moves a couple of steps, and Bourne is out, 1 away. Rest of the lineup for the Indians presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Bourne, Cabrera, Brantley, your top 3. Chisenhall at third base cleaning up tonight. David Murphy is in the lineup, having a good month of May. Then Santana, Swisher, Gomes, and Aviles, your bottom 3 tonight for Terry Francona's Indians.
And the reason I bring that up about Verlander and what he's done against left-handers this year, he's held them to a .215 batting average. Right-handers hitting .278 against Justin Verlander. So apparently Terry Francona not looking at those numbers.
Well, here is Asdrubal Cabrera batting .261, had a couple of hits in last night's game. Ball 1 outside to Cabrera.
Cabrera playing for a contract. He is a free agent after this season is over.
Cabrera is a couple of years removed from that big season that he had. It was 2011 when he hit 25 home runs, knocked in 92. But he has not been able to approach those numbers since.
Speaking of shortstops, did you see where the Boston Red Sox re-signed Stephen Drew today?
I did. Which
they needed him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess in some ways it's surprising. In other ways it's not. Hard hit ball into right center field, base hit.
Let's take a peek at the Tigers starting defense. It's presented by Beaumont Health System. You have Davis, Jackson, Hunter in the outfield. Castellanos checks in with a .973 fielding percentage, which is 3rd among American League third basemen. Worth and Kinsler up the middle. Miggy anchored over at first, and Alex Avila.
Here are the numbers on Verlander tonight, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
5-2, looking for his 6th win of the year. Porcello has 7. Max Scherzer also has 6. Verlander's ERA just a shade over 3. Hasn't been striking out that many hitters this year. He's pitching to much more contact, and the guy standing in the batter's box right now makes a lot of contact.
Well, he did last night. The game-winning home run in the 10th. Brantley, by the way, has hit safely now in 16 in a row at home, and he is in their number 3 spot in the lineup. 1 on 1 out, just underway. Tigers have the lead on the Torrey Hunter home run. That home run that Brantley hit last night was his 9th of the year. Ball missing outside, 1-0.
That was the 7th walk-off home run in the last 2 years for the Cleveland Indians.
Remember back in the mid-90s when they had the really good teams here? It seemed like Jim Thome was hitting a walk-off every night.
No doubt. They were great back then. They had some outstanding players.
The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 on Brantley.
Alomar, Baerga, Manning, Kenny Lofton. They were really, really good baseball team. Could never really pitch to get them over the hump, but boy, they could hit with the best of them.
So Brantley is ahead 2-0 in lifetime against Verlander. He's hitting a cool .390. There are very few guys that have really, really good lifetime numbers against JV. Billy Butler comes to mind. Brantley is certainly another.
Brantley, a good fastball hitter, and the reason why he's such a good fastball hitter, he gets that front foot set really early, which gives him a lot of time to recognize pitches. You can't really throw fastballs by him, but you can fool him with good off-speed pitches.
Down the left field line, back out of play.
Brantley got himself a hanging 3-2 slider last night from Al Albuquerque, and he sent the Cleveland Indians fans home happy.
A 2-out solo shot, and boy, do the Tribe really need that. They had been scuffling and lost 4 in a row. They were swept by the A's, and they had a celebration at home plate last night. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 now on Brantley.
Verlander had a start earlier this year against the Cleveland Indians where he lasted just 5 innings. He only gave up 3 runs in the game, but they really worked a lot of counts against him. Verlander threw over 100 pitches in that 5-inning outing earlier this season against the Cleveland Indians.
Right back up the middle into center, a solid base hit, and Brantley continues to swing it against JV.
He loves hitting in this ballpark too.
2 on and 1 out. So Brantley now has a 17-game home hitting streak. Here's Chisenhall. He did not start last night. He was able to pinch hit though.
And that game that I was speaking of when Verlander went up against the Tribe at Comerica Park, it was April 17th. And in that contest, Chisenhall had 4 hits, and 2 of those hits were against Verlander.
And we'll see what he can do here against Justin with 2 men on. Tigers lead 1-0 in the first. Ball 1 inside. In that start, 113 total pitches thrown by Verlander, to illustrate the point you were making. In just 5 innings of work, 4 base on balls. Here's the 1-0. Towards second base, over the glove of Kinsler into right field. Cabrera rounding third. He will score. 3 straight hits for the Indians, and they've tied it up at 1.
Despite Justin Verlander having outstanding numbers against left-handers, Terry Francona has stacked the deck with left-handed hitters, and 3 of the left-handers have singled successfully here in the first inning and has gotten the Tribe on the board.
Just out of the reach of a leaping Ian Kinsler. Cabrera scoring with ease, and Verlander had to go back and cover home plate. So here is Murphy now with 2 on, 1 out, a run in. Three straight hits for the Indians. Murphy at .291. Signed to a 2-year contract in the offseason. Check swing. 1 ball to no strikes.
David Murphy has been doing his best work in these situations. He is hitting .467, excuse me, with runners in scoring position.
Murphy coming over from the Texas Rangers. He was a member of the Rangers from 2007 to 2013. And now Verlander again falling behind. 2 balls to no strikes as you look at the career numbers for Murphy against Detroit.
Well, that's the main reason why they acquired him in the offseason, knowing that the Tigers had a rotation of Verlander, Scherzer, Sanchez, and Porcello, the right-handers.
Bouncing ball to second base. Kinsler, quick shovel for 1 and a double play, 4-6-3. Minimal damage done as Verlander gets the ground ball off the bat of David Murphy. And the Indians settle for 1. It's a 1-1 score as we go to the top of the second. Our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for only $2. Well, Rod and I are combining again tonight. We're teaming up to go with Miguel Cabrera. I know it's a tough choice. Somebody's got to do it. Simo is going with Torrey Hunter, and Keats going with Austin Jackson tonight.
Simo looking good right now.
Yeah, he's off to a nice start. Hunter with a home run in the first. Here's Jackson back in the lineup tonight. Don Kelly started the game in center field last night in the opener.
Well, it looks like Bauer going to come out here and try to overpower the Tigers early with those hard fastballs in the mid-90s.
There's a strike called on Jackson. Castellanos then Avila in the Tigers' second inning.
Bauer went 38-4 in his collegiate career at UCLA. 38-4 in the Pac-12 in those hitter-friendly ballparks. Are you kidding me?
Well, they really had a tremendous pitching staff, and he was also college teammates with a guy that was the #1 overall pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Garrett Cole.
He ranks first in wins, first in innings, first in strikeouts in his collegiate career at UCLA.
And he just got Jackson looking at strike 3. Second strikeout of the ball game for Trevor Bauer.
How'd they not win a national championship with those two guys anchoring the staff?
I don't know. But he was awfully good and led the nation in strikeouts his sophomore and junior years before he was drafted by the Diamondbacks, and then went on to be their minor league pitcher of the year, and all of a sudden they traded him.
He also was a Golden Spikes Award winner his final year in college, which goes to the best collegiate player.
Castellanos cuts and misses. Nick had a couple of hits in the ball game last night, trying to rebound after a bit of a slow stretch. He's at 242 right now.
Bauer stands on the first base side of the pitching rubber. I mean, barely has his big toe on the rubber. And the reason for that is it allows him and helps him to get the fastball away from the right-handed batters.
He's jumped ahead of Castellanos 0-2.
And there you go. He's about as far over as you can get on that rubber.
Swing and a miss, and that didn't take long. He got him on 3 pitches. Third straight strikeout now for Bauer.
Hanging breaking ball here thrown to Castellanos, but the swing way too big. Therefore, Castellanos' bat didn't stay in the strike zone very long. Usually Castellanos has that classic inside out swing, and his bat stays in the hitting zone a long time, but it didn't there.
Bauer shook his head after that last pitch as if to say, man, I hung that thing.
He's hung a couple of them today already.
Here is Avila now with 2 outs. 4 straight retired after the home run by Hunter. Last night a 2-base hit for Alex. Finished the ball game 1 for 3. And he pulls this one foul outside of the bag at first.
Tigers up there swinging a lot on the first pitches. And the reason for that is that Bauer throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs. He did not to Castellanos, but that's no surprise.
Bauer stands 6'1", 190 out of North Hollywood. In for a strike, and now quickly it's 0-2 on Avila.
That's the first changeup we've seen Bauer throw today, and it was a good one. At 85 miles an hour, that's a 11-mile-per-hour differential off his best fastball here today.
The 0-2. Bauer was the 3rd overall pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2011. Came over to the Indians in a 3-team deal. Cincinnati was involved as well. Shin-Soo Choo going over the other way. And that one missed, and the count evens now 2-2. Here's the 2-2, high 3-2. Danny Salazar was sent down by the Indians. He's in the minor leagues now, but they feel that in the future Bauer and Salazar could be a pretty good 1-2 punch, and they figure to pitch in the big leagues together to form a pretty good top of the rotation.
They've got Corey Kluber too.
And Kluber. But of the young guys, they certainly are hoping that Salazar, who's down in the minors, can regain some of the form he has shown at this level. There's Avila getting another walk after falling behind. 2 out base on balls. So Danny Worth will get a shot now. Romine started the game last night. Worth will get the call here tonight. .250 so far this year for Danny with 5 RBIs. Fouled straight back 0-1. Of the shortstop combination the Tigers are using, I think that the Romine has showed that he is a supreme defender. Worth has maybe been a little bit better offensively. Danny also can pick it at the shortstop position. And that topic came up today when Stephen Drew was signed by the Red Sox. Brad Ausmus saying really no internal discussions on acquiring Drew or signing Drew. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I guarantee you there were a lot of teams out there that were going to sign Drew after the amateur draft.
Well, he is back in Boston.
Yep, they jumped the gun on him, and they needed to do so.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Danny Worth. Waiting on deck, Rajai Davis. Tigers jumped out to the lead on the Hunter home run in the first. Indians answered with 3 straight singles. Just off the plate outside, and Yan Gomes held it there, but was not going to get the call from Gabe Morales.
And Bauer had already taken 3 steps toward his dugout.
Oh yeah, that never wins any points with a home plate ump.
Never.
Fouled away. It has been a long road trip for the Tigers. 3 in Baltimore, 3 in Boston. They've got 3 here in Cleveland, and they come home for just a short 4-game homestand. The Texas Rangers coming to town, and then Brad Ausmus will bring his team out west. Little soft line drive to right field. It's straight at David Murphy to retire the side. No runs, a 2-out walk, 1 left. Here come the Indians in the bottom of the 2nd.
revisit an at-bat. Santana versus Verlander. This is April 17th. Starts him out with a changeup. Then he goes curveball. Then he goes back to the changeup, followed by another curveball. He's going to show him a fastball and then just finish him off with a real good changeup. Outstanding sequence here by Justin Verlander to the free-swinging third baseman Carlos Santana. I mean, he breaking ball, changeup, show the fastball, then get him out with something off speed.
So it'll be Santana starting things off here in the second. He was 0 for 4 last night, and for Santana, it's been a bad start. And his batting average of 148. We'll see how he does in this at bat against JV.
For a guy that has such a poor batting average, he does display a lot of plate discipline. He can walk. I mean, this guy has a pretty good eye, but yet the batting average is way down this year.
It really is a strange way of looking at these statistics for Santana. I mean, really, since 2011, only Joey Votto has walked more in the big leagues.
I saw that today.
Which is really kind of astounding. I mean, he's typically in the 90 range in base on balls every year. Fouled away. So when you see guys that walk a lot, they typically have much better numbers in the average column.
He got a good fastball to hit right there. 2 balls, no strikes, and he fouled it straight back.
Swisher and then Gomes to follow here in the second. Ball high.
If Santana gets a fastball right here from Verlander, and watch him come out of his shoes.
Ripped to first and off the glove of Cabrera. Hard hit ball. He's going to try for 2. Miggy picks it up, fires to second. He's out.
Did Miggy bait him?
He might have.
I think Miggy baited him into going. He did get that 3-1 fastball, and he about undressed Miguel Cabrera down there. He got a little glove on it, and then Miggy just went back there casually after the baseball as to bait Santana into going to second base, and then Miggy picks it up, and with that arm that he has, threw a clothesline to Danny Worth to get the out.
I mean, what arm strength here.
That's one thing that people don't know about Miguel Cabrera. It's arm strength, and he's got a tremendous amount of accuracy with that arm.
Yeah, those are attributes they rarely talk about because he's so good with the bat. Here's Swisher now. Fouled away, 0-1. Well, that hit is the 4th of the game for the Indians.
Well, whatever the game plan coming into the contest was for Verlander, given to him by Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, they need to maybe flip it a little bit because the left-handers are all over everything he's throwing right now.
Swisher has fallen behind 0-2, had a couple of hits in the ball game last night.
And that's what the really good pitchers will do. When that game plan that they gave you at the outset not working, you need to make decisions on the fly, and you need to make adjustments on the fly.
1-2. Verlander gave up 3 straight singles in the first. Chisenhall knocked in Cabrera to tie it at 1, but then he got a double play ball off of Adam Murphy, and that really helped. Swisher, like Santana, really struggling out of the gate this year, and that has really hurt the Indians' chances. Shattered bat. Back out of play. Swisher, as a matter of fact, was batting second in the Cleveland lineup, but Terry Francona decided to lower him.
Nick Swisher is batting 194 against Justin Verlander with 3 home runs. And 2 of those home runs against Verlander came in the very first meeting between these two back in 2006. And when Swisher was wearing the Athletics uniform, so you get the idea of how much Justin has dominated him since then.
It has been downhill since.
That's back when Justin was just a hard thrower and tried to overpower you with fastballs. And Swisher, because he takes a lot of pitches, he always gets himself in a fastball friendly count, and he punished Justin Verlander early in Verlander's career. Verlander would go on to win Rookie of the Year that year, though.
Pulled down the right field line. It is a fair ball. This will go to the corner, and now it's a ground rule doubled for Swisher, who now has his 3rd hit of the series as he tries to perk his bat up.
The last few times Verlander has gone up against Cleveland, he's thrown lots of changeups, he's thrown lots of breaking balls. For whatever reason today, Justin throwing a lot of fastballs, and they've been right on top of all the fastballs he's thrown.
Swisher got that one out in front and picks up his 11th double of the year. Here's Yan Gomes, batting .276. Pretty good night last night. 3 for 4. He scored a couple of times. Gomes in the month of May batting .320. Trying to drive in the go-ahead run here in the 2nd inning. The double by Swisher. The 0-1 is high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
95 with that last fastball there thrown by Justin. His best fastball so far of the evening.
Justin has done really good work in the month of May. He is 16 over the 500 mark for his career in May. So now he falls behind Gomes on his 30th pitch of the night. 2-1 the count.
And the best pitch right here to throw to Gomes, who has a very quick bat and he's got some power in that bat as well. It's probably a good slider at about 84, 85 miles an hour. To see if you can get him swinging over the top of it, but you got to locate it down and away from Yan Gomes. Went fastball inside and missed.
And now it's 3-1. The aggressiveness of Santana apparently helping the Tigers out quite a bit now as this inning continues. He was thrown out at second base. Otherwise, perhaps the start of a big inning here for Cleveland. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
There's that slider. Well located slider. Now that's a slider grip there by Justin. And that pitch now for Justin is a well above average pitch. Took him a couple of years before he really found a consistent arm slot with that slider once he started throwing it. But it is a really good pitch for him these days.
3-2 on Gomes. 6 homers, 18 RBIs this year for the Cleveland catcher.
Verlander's command is a little bit off as we speak. He has thrown a total of 33 pitches, and he's only hit the strike zone with 17 of those.
JV taking a long look at Avila. Outside, he lost in ball 4.
And Jeff Jones may have to go out and have a visit with Justin. Maybe not.
Here's Mike Aviles. The one thing Jones is really good at is knowing the different personalities of his staff.
Yeah, if that was Smiley, he'd have been out.
Yeah, no doubt.
If that was Porcello, he'd have been out there. Verlander a lot like Jack Morris. Jack Morris, when Sparky used to come to the mound, he used to give Sparky a look like, what are you doing? Sparky just keeps strolling on out there.
Here's Aviles now.
I'm not afraid of you.
Kinsler wasn't even on the bag, but Verlander continued with his throw. Swisher a double, Gomes a walk. Indians already have 5 hits on the scoreboard tonight. And Aviles takes outside 1-0.
Justin has now thrown more balls than strikes in this contest.
It's been kind of a fist fight start for Verlander as he struggles with his command. There you go.
Yeah, we watched Drew Smiley fight his command last night.
Popped up behind home plate, and the Avila can't quite get there. Off the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aviles was 0 for 5 in last night's ball game. He had one of their bigger hits last year, a grand slam off Joaquin Benoit in the 9th inning of a game in September at Comerica Park. The Indians were making their charge the final month of the year, earning a playoff spot. And that one got Avila.
Yeah, it buckled him. What new, though?
Home plate umpire Gabe Morales stepping away to give Avila a few more seconds to get his wits about him. 1-2. Two on, 1 out. Try batting here in the second. Line drive to left center, base hit. That'll get a run in. Swisher coming around to score. It's going to go to the wall and get 2 runs in. Gomes rounding third. He will score. It's a double and 2 RBIs for Mike Aviles.
Aviles got himself a 1-2 breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. It stayed on it nicely and shot it right up the gap in left center field. And by the time that Rajay Davis was able to pick it up, not only Swisher able to come around and score, but also Yan Gomes all the way from first base.
6 hits now for Cleveland, and Aviles has 13 RBIs on the year. It's a 3-1 ball game. Here is Michael Bourne. Still only 1 out. Bourne sends a ground ball foul. Just outside of the bag at first. 3 hits and a walk in this inning for Cleveland. They had 3 consecutive hits back in the first. And Avila now goes out to the mound to have a talk with Verlander. 7 of the 9 hitters already in this game have reached safely against JV.
I told you that Verlander on the 17th of April had a very stressful start against Cleveland. Although he has dominated this team, I mean, he's won his last 4 decisions against them. Very stressful start, just 5 innings, and he threw 113 pitches.
Here's the 0-1.
And this one starting out like that one.
Well, in his last start, he was cruising along against Baltimore and then had that 5-run inning. He ended up winning that game. The Tigers scored 7 times and beat Baltimore 7-5. They had built a big enough lead. Bourne out in front, and it's 1-2.
Another grip here, and that's a changeup, circle change. That one fades down and away from left-handed hitters.
The 1-2. 2-2 now on Michael Bourne. Fly ball to center field his first time, 0 for 1. And Bourne now is 3 for his last 17. JV really laboring here in the second. Drill to right field. That ball is in well. Torrey back, looks up off the top of the wall. This will get another run in. Michael Bourne goes to second. Back-to-back doubles for the Indians, and they lead 4-1.
Now Verlander will get a visit from Jeff Jones. I'm not sure whether that was a fastball or a hanging changeup, but it got off that gate in a hurry and nearly got out of here. These left-handers today are punishing Justin Verlander. He came into this contest holding left-handed batters to a batting average barely over 200.
Well, as you mentioned, Terry Francona putting as many of those as he can into his lineup, and they've come through. 27 pitch inning for Verlander, and there's still only one out.
Here's our T-Mobile game changer. And Justin Verlander early in his career really struggled against the Tribe. 4-10 in the years 2005 to 2008. But 2009 to the current year, 14-4 with a sub-3 ERA. Opponent's batting average of just 210. So he really had to learn how to pitch against the Cleveland Indians, and really overall had to learn how to pitch in the big leagues.
Right now, the Indians don't care about those numbers. They have a 4-1 lead. There goes the runner to third, and there's nobody covering and no throw. Castellanos got a late break to third base, and Bourne steals it easily.
Bourne is a thief by trade. He's an outstanding base stealer. He loves to steal third base. He has stolen a lot of bases in the major leagues, and they basically forgot all about him. With the left-hander up there, they didn't think Bourne was going to try to steal the base.
Infield in now for Detroit. Third steal of the year for Michael Bourne. He's been caught 3 times. And it's ball 1 to Cabrera.
That is a stolen base number 283 for Michael Bourne since 2008. That's the best in the majors. Rajay Davis is second on that list with 259.
3-run inning for the Indians. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now on Asdrubal Cabrera, who singled and scored a run back in the first. So Verlander now is already up to 46 pitches in this game, 30 of them here in the second inning. Into right field, a base hit, and the Indians continuing to pepper Verlander. RBI single. Cabrera's 2 for 2, and it's 5-1.
Second consecutive start that Verlander has given up 5 runs. He gave up 5 runs just 5 days ago as well to the Baltimore Orioles.
Here's Brantley. It has turned into a 4-run inning for the Indians. Brantley had a single to set up a run in the first inning. And JV has recorded just 1 out so far. High fly ball, center field, playable. Jackson under it. And there's the second out of the inning. We'll bring up Chisenhall. This is the 8th man to bat in the inning. Chisenhall knocked one in with a base hit back in the first. He'll swing at the first pitch and pop it up. And Worth, the shortstop, hauls it in to finally retire this side. But it's a big inning for the Indians. They score 4 times. And their lead now is 5-1. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's Smokehouse Brisket Sandwich today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. It is a nice night here in Cleveland. However, the Indians having their way so far. 5-1 is our score as we go to the top of the third. Justin Verlander in the second inning threw 33 pitches, and they scored a 4 spot on him. Now Trevor Bauer back to work. Rajai Davis leads it off and looks at strike one. He's not a fan of that call. Double 2 RBIs last night for Davis. Sends a ground ball to short. As Miguel Cabrera throws him out, 1 away. It'll bring up Ian Kinsler.
Number 3, Ian Kinsler.
Our first trip to Progressive Field this year. Of course, the Tigers and Indians will play 19 times again this year. Tigers controlled the season series last year. Kinsler 0 for 1. .364 in the month of May for Kinsler coming in. As you look at the breakdown on Bauer.
Tigers have quite a few members of their starting 9 that have been outstanding in the month of May.
Kinsler gets a base hit back up the middle.
Miggy and Victor have also had outstanding months.
Well, 3 hitters in the top 10. You talk about Miggy, Victor, and Kinsler is there as well. Top 10 in the league. Hunter homered back in the first, giving the Tigers an early 1-0 lead. He hit a ball over 400 feet into left center field, back into the bleachers out there. He's not hitting some cheapies on this road trip.
No, that one he hit at Fenway Park. That went over the monster and out of the yard.
Bauer hits the outside corner.
It's a hard slider. 89 miles an hour with that slider right there.
Now he steps off. He was the Diamondbacks minor league player of the year back in 2012. He was 12-2 combined AA and AAA, and then the Diamondbacks ended up trading him.
In case you missed it, this is what Torrey did on Sunday night in Boston against Jake Peavy. A slider that didn't do a whole lot, and Torrey unleashed on him.
Did you see the video of the here's the home run tonight?
I did see that.
The kid that was chasing the home run ball at Fenway?
Yeah.
He's in the parking lot running it down and then just wiped out.
Face plant.
I don't know if he ever got the baseball.
You hope so.
It may still be rolling. 0-2 on Hunter. Up and in to Torrey. He has pitched him aggressively inside in his first couple of at-bats. Couple of pitches in that first at bat before Hunter took it deep. Cabrera waiting on deck. 5-1 Cleveland in the lead here in game 2 in the series. Kinsler at first base has stolen a total of 5 this year. We've mentioned the Tigers been very aggressive this year. They lead the league in steals. Not likely to run though when you're down 5-1.
They'll still run. They have to still play their game in the third inning. If they get Rajai Davis and Kinsler on first base, they won't deter those guys from stealing a base.
Bouncing ball to second. This looks like a double play. 4-6-3 to end the inning. 2.5 in the books. The deficit that the Tigers are facing sets up nicely a bit of the magic that we saw in this ballpark on September 7th, 2011. Justin Verlander against the Indians. It looked like his day was done. The Tigers were down to Cleveland, and then Victor Martinez launched a grand slam in the 7th inning off Tony Sipp to the great chagrin of Justin Verlander. It lifted him to his 10th consecutive victory and his 10th consecutive start. Big hug from V-Mart in the Tigers dugout, and the Tigers won that one, and the Tigers will need a big comeback tonight to do likewise. And what a run JV was on, finishing first in wins, ERA, strikeouts, and opponents average. That seems like a distant memory to Justin Verlander right now. Mario, Ron? Well, still plenty of time in this ball game as we go to the bottom of the third, and maybe a comeback is in the cards for the Tigers here tonight. David Murphy is starting things off in the Cleveland third. It'll be Murphy, Santana, Swisher facing Verlander, who had to really fight his way through a rocky second. 33 pitch second inning for JV. He got Murphy to bounce into a double play to end the first. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 now on Murphy.
It's no doubt that Jeff Jones has talked to Verlander and also Avila, and they understand exactly what the Indians are trying to do to him today. And now it's a matter of whether Justin Verlander can make the adjustments to keep the score right where it's at, to give his offense a chance to wake up here tonight.
Leadoff walk here in the third. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio and Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks. Meanwhile, Santana will step in now with the leadoff base on balls. The last thing that Verlander wanted here in the third. And he throws strike one to Santana. Carlos had a single and tried to stretch it to a double. He hit a sharply hit ball off the glove of the first baseman Cabrera. Miggy ran it down and threw him out at second. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. 0-2 on Santana.
First pitch slider to Santana. Second pitch a curveball at 78 miles an hour. Santana does have a good eye. We told you that he does walk a lot, but he will chase a ball out of the strike zone, and that's exactly where this next delivery should be, out of the strike zone in the 0-2 count.
Swisher on deck. Talked about Santana and Swisher both struggling. They have both been lowered in the lineup for Cleveland so they can get their bats going. Swisher showing some signs.
He had a pretty good day yesterday, Swisher.
He's got 3 hits in this series. Here's the 1-2. Santana DHing in the ballgame tonight. Verlander making his 10th start of the season here tonight. Of his 9 previous starts, 7 of them have been quality, but this will not qualify as a quality start tonight regardless of what he does the rest of the way. And missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Santana. Tigers rolled through Baltimore and Boston, winning all 6, but they were tripped up last night and now trail here tonight 5-1. High fly ball left center field. Jackson and Davis converge, and it's the center fielder Jackson.
It has been well documented that the Tigers had very difficult travel getting here to Cleveland a couple of days ago. Could not take off for Boston on Sunday. Didn't get land in Cleveland until 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And Brett Ausmus said it's not so much that day that you're worried about. You have the adrenaline to get you through that game. But it's the next day that you worry about when you have some difficult travel like that. And obviously Justin Verlander has come out a little sluggish here today.
Here is Swisher now with one out.
It's like going to the West Coast from the East Coast. That first day you're running on adrenaline. Then that second day your sleep patterns all thrown off, and it's a difficult day for you.
The other thing about the traveling snafu the Tigers had is that you're used to doing things a certain way at a certain time. You never travel on the day of a game, and so all of a sudden the Tigers were doing that. They got to the ballpark. Their uniforms weren't even here yet. They were waiting on those.
Weren't clean either, because they're getting laundry there while they were in Boston. They had to get them washed when they got here.
Now they did get a chance to take batting practice yesterday, and they got in time here for that, but your routine is all messed up. And in baseball, maybe more than any other sport, routine is so important because of the sheer volume of games you play.
That's right.
Murphy at first base. He let it off with a walk.
And Murphy has. Does he have a steal?
He's got a couple.
Got a couple.
2 steals for Murphy. Good block by Avila. Five runs on 8 hits already for the Indians in this game. They come out swinging the bats against Verlander. They scored a run in the first. They added 4 more in the second. And JV's pitch count early in this game will preclude him from going deep in this contest. Swing and a miss. Swisher has really scuffled this year. 42 strikeouts already this season, which leads their team. In fact, he was saying as Terry Francona dropped in the lineup, you know what, if I have to hit 9th, I'll hit 9th. I don't care. But he still wants to go out every day and try and bust out of this slump. And now he's got himself another knock, his second of the game. Murphy all the way to third base, and he is in there standing up.
That is now the 9th hit that the Cleveland Indians have gotten against Justin Verlander, and 8 of those are left-handers. But look at the location of these pitches. Justin Verlander clearly missing with his command. Everything is out over the heart of the plate, right around not thigh high or belt buckle, and these guys have seriously punished him so far here tonight. This last one, breaking ball down that Swisher goes down to get, and he finds a hole on the right side of the infield. So everything working very well right now for Cleveland.
9 hits on the scoreboard now for the Tribe, and that'll bring up Yan Gomes, who had a base on balls and scored a run in the second inning. Indians trying to add to their 5-1 lead. We're in the third. In there for strike one. And so Cleveland already is 4 for 5 with men in scoring position. Murphy at third base, Swisher at first. Outside. 1-1.
Here's where Justin Verlander has gotten really tough to hit the last couple of years. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. And he's going for the strikeout here. Second consecutive night, Brad Ausmus has watched his starting pitcher get off to a very rough start.
Jeff Jones hasn't seen Verlander struggle all that much this year, aside from that 5-run inning he had against the Orioles in his last start. Even that 5 runs in 6 innings only bumped his ERA up to 3.15 coming in. That is popped up foul, back out of play.
You've got to give Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach of the Cleveland Indians, a lot of credit. They had a game plan coming in against Verlander. They had that same game plan back in April the 17th, where Verlander threw 113 pitches in 5 innings. They're working some counts. They're taking advantage of mistakes. And they're not swinging at the breaking balls in the dirt.
Yeah, JV is going to reach 70 before this half inning is over, unless he gets a double play ball right here. That's 68 right now. Pulled foul.
There's Ty Van Berkeley. Ty Van Berkeley and I were teammates in Japan, Hiroshima. Neighbors. We got to know each other very, very well. Rode to the ballpark every day together. We hung out a lot on the road. Back in those days, there were only 2 Americans on each team, so you had to bond with your buddy.
Is it still the same way now? Do you know?
They have 4.
4 now?
They have 4.
2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's a big out for JV. 2 gone here in the 3rd.
And Verlander has that ability. And when that runner on 3rd base, less than 2 outs, he reaches back to get a little extra with his fastball. And even though he hung that slider in the mid-80s, Yan Gomes came up empty.
70 now for JV. You see the 33 in the 2nd. And in that inning, the Tribe scored 4. Mike Avila's a big part of it. 2-run double sends a slow roller toward 3rd. Castellanos. And that'll end the threat. No runs, a hit, a walk. 2 men left. On our way to the 4th in Cleveland. Price Pack Tuesday tonight is brought to you by Meyer. Enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com. You'll be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack any baseball fan would absolutely love. Miguel Cabrera starts it off for the Tigers as we go to the 4th inning. Some work to do now. The Tigers have been out hit 9-2 in this game and trail 5-1. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez, and then Austin Jackson facing Trevor Bauer, who surrendered the home run to Torrey Hunter in the 1st, and that has been it. We've got a double play ball off the bat of Torrey to close the 3rd inning. And now Miguel, who bounced out back of the pitcher his first time up. Drives one down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball. It'll go to the corner. Extra bases for Miguel Cabrera. It's a leadoff double in the 4th.
Miguel was looking for one of those mid-90s fastballs that Bauer has thrown so frequently on the first pitch to a lot of the Tigers hitters, and he hung him a slider at 87, and because he was looking for the fastball, Miggy's bat was sped up automatically. And the direction that he takes with his hands is a very good direction. He was able to keep that ball fair. Look at the direction. Pulling the bat knob first close to the body and barreling that baseball up for a solid double down in the left field corner.
15 doubles, which means he trails Trevor Plouffe by 2 for the American League lead. Here's Martinez. Victor struck out to end the first inning. One of 3 strikeouts that Bauer has recorded tonight. Bouncing ball right side. That'll move the runner up. Vilas throws out Martinez. One gone. And Cabrera scoots to third base. Here's Jackson. Austin struck out in the second. Got the night off last night. It's been a slow trip for Austin with the bat. 2 for 21 now on this road trip. Average of 269. Ball 1 high. Fouled straight back. Bauer went to high school in Santa Clarita, California. In fact, he went to Hart High School, which has produced some other big leaguers, namely James Shields. Kevin Millar went there. Todd Zeile, the former Cardinal. And he missed it up high. Bauer, as a kid, would take a bucket of baseballs and go to the nearest park, and he would just throw a bucket of baseballs against the wooden fence out there to build arm strength. And he would do it every single day.
Worked out pretty good for him.
I would say so. Mid to upper 90s with a fastball. That's fouled back out of play. Said, you know, I didn't have too many friends when I was a kid, so I just went out and played ball every day. There's some notable pitchers from the first round of that 2011 draft.
Bauer was the first of any player drafted in 2011 to arrive in the big leagues. And he did it the very next season.
Now the 2-2. Ooh. Up and in and out of the box goes Jackson.
He has done a lot of that today. Started real early with Torrey Hunter. Got him up on his tippy toes.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Jackson is gone, and Cabrera stays at third with 2 outs.
Gutsy pitch there by Bauer, but it's easier to throw that pitch when you've got a 4-run spread in the top half of the 4th inning. It's a slide piece, 3-2 count.
Here's Castellanos. Nick struck out back in the second.
He started Nick off with a curveball his last time up, and he finished him off with a breaking ball as well.
Bauer trying to strand a leadoff double. Strike 1 on Castellanos.
High strikes tonight being called by the home plate umpire Gabe Morales.
Both sides have complained, well, not really complained, but had a crooked look on their face on some of those high strikes. There's a high fly ball to center. Michael Bourne cruising back and still going. And that'll end the inning. So the Tigers get a leadoff double and strand Cabrera at third base. Hashtag Detroit fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Tigers fans hoping that their team can get the bats going. They are down by a score of 5-1. And it'll be Michael Bourn to start things off for the Indians. Bourn, Cabrera, Brantley facing Justin Verlander, who desperately needs an easy inning here. Showing bunt, ball one to Bourn. Doubled, stole a base, knocked one in, and scored in the second. It's a pretty busy inning. He is 1 for 2. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Born over in the National League his entire career before joining the Indians last year. Played with Philly, the team that he broke in with, and then Houston, and then Atlanta. 1-1 is stroked to center field. Jackson on his horse, still going back. He's to the track, looks up, can't get it. Bourn is on his way to second. He'll pull in there. That ball just kept going on Jackson. Second double of the night for Bourn.
When Michael Bourn hits a ball in that particular direction, it usually does not travel that far. Therefore, it caught Jackson off guard, who was playing Bourn very shallow.
They are squaring up some baseballs tonight.
That they are.
Here is Cabrera, who's had a couple of hits, both singles. He has an RBI as well. As Grubel, after a slow start, really starting to pick up the average now. He's at 270. Ball one to Cabrera.
And Verlander has given up 10 knocks already here tonight, which is the most hits he's given up this year in any game. He's given up 8 a couple of different times.
Two and 0. After a 33-pitch second, Verlander gave up a single and a walk in the third, but pitched out of that. Now a leadoff double here in the fourth.
Michael Bourn has already stolen third base in this game, so if you're Danny Wirtz, you have to make sure you keep him close, keep him honest, and don't let him walk to third.
3-0. Brantley on deck. Leadoff two-base hit by Michael Bourn. 3-0 pitch is scattered foul, back out of place, swinging, and he fouled it off. 3-1. 26 runs now for Cabrera after scoring a run earlier in this game, which leads the team. 7th consecutive opening day shortstop assignment for Hasdrubal. And he walked him. 2 on, nobody out. Third walk in the game for Justin. 3 walks and 10 hits allowed, and we are only in the 4th. Now Brantley to deal with. One for 2 tonight for Brantley, who singled in his first at bat. That's pitch number 80 now for JV, and we're still only in 4th.
And Justin is only 10 of 21 so far here tonight in first pitch strikes, which gives you an idea of how much he has struggled with his command.
That breakdown that we just showed you, an indicator of that. Brantley steps out. We mentioned that Brantley has always had good success against JV. 390 coming in. 1 for 2 against him tonight. Strike on the outer edge.
And Brantley took that fastball anticipating that Justin Verlander would throw him an off-speed pitch there. He was sitting on that curveball.
Tigers tonight have been out hit 10-3, and they trail 5-1 in the 4th inning.
And see if Avila and Justin come back with another fastball, because they might think that he was sitting on the off-speed pitch as well.
Breaking ball missing outside. 2-1. Lonnie Chisenhall on deck. Brantley was signed to a 4-year extension and also a team option, which would keep him in Cleveland here through 2018. That one missed. 3-1.
One of those club-friendly deals. And Brantley gets some financial security for himself and his family, and Cleveland gets himself a pretty good player if he continues to produce at the rate that he's been producing at.
The Indians basically buying him out of his arbitration years. With the numbers that Brantley has put up every year, those numbers would continue to climb. Michael said that the Indians were the first team to allow him to play in the big leagues, so he really likes it here, wants to stay here.
He got a taste of winning last year, and they had an outstanding September, and they won 92 games last year.
Driven in the air to right field. Torrey is under it. Bourne tagging, and he'll go to third base. So the fly ball by Brantley moves one of the runners up. 2 on, 1 out. Hey, the Tigers conclude their weekend series with the Texas Rangers this Sunday at 1:08. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free Detroit Tigers starting rotation poster. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. More information at tigers.com as well. A couple of guys on that poster. Rick Porcello will be pushed back a couple of days after experiencing some pain in his side. Even though he pitched through it in Boston, it really didn't seem to bother him.
And Rick told me a couple of days ago there was about 20 family members and friends in Boston, and boy, he showed out for him, didn't he? 8 innings that night.
And he really wanted to, because remember the year when he got in that brawl with Euclid?
Yep.
His high school coach was there, a whole lot of family was there, and he was tossed out in the second inning, really.
Yeah, they saw a side of Ricky P they'd never seen before.
He said it was awkward because everybody showed up at the hotel after the game, and he had pitched 1 inning. That's all he pitched before he got tossed, and he said, "Thanks for coming. Appreciate it."
But if they're going to err on any side, it's got to be on the side of caution with Porcello, who's already won 7 games this year. If that oblique is sore the next couple of days, just go ahead and back him off. It's a long season.
The 1-0. Chisenhall takes inside. 2-0. Verlander again falling behind an Indians hitter.
We really have not seen Justin struggle like this all year. Even when he gave up that 5 spot to Baltimore 5 days ago, that happened in just 1 inning.
High pop up right side. Hunter coming in, and he'll make the basket catch and quickly fire it to the plate to keep the runner at third. Bourne.
That is a good communication there between Kinsler and also Hunter. If Kinsler catches this ball with his back to the infield, Michael Bourne on third base would have tagged up and scored. And therefore, Torrey Hunter called him off at the last minute. And that's why Michael Bourne couldn't score. Now, if Kinsler catches it, then there is going to be another run scored.
Well, it looked awkward, but it nestled into the glove of Torrey Hunter. That's all that matters. 2 gone. Here's Murphy in search of a 2-out hit. Base on balls in the 3rd, bounced into a double play in the 1st.
Murphy has done everything for Cleveland they thought he would do when they signed him to that contract in the offseason after he hit the free agent market. He had really good career numbers against the Tigers, and he also hit very well in this particular ballpark. And with as many right-handers as the Tigers have in their rotation, and you're going to see the Tigers 19 times, they needed a left-hander who could hit Detroit pitching. And they found that in Murphy.
Yeah, and make no mistake, his numbers in this ballpark certainly had to weigh heavy. I mean, he's .340 career here. Shoots this one in the air to left field. Rajay Davis on the run, and once again Verlander able to pitch out of a jam. So the Indians strand a couple again here in the 4th inning. We are on our way to the 5th in Cleveland. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. It is the 5th inning here in Cleveland. The Tigers trying to jumpstart the offense here. They've had some chances the last couple of innings. They still trail though 5-1, and they've been out hit 10-3 in this game. Trevor Bauer back to the hill facing the bottom 3 in the Tigers lineup. It'll be Avila, Worth, and Davis. Avila had a base on balls in his first at bat. And Bauer missing high. 1 ball and no strikes on Alex. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. Checked it. 2-1 the count.
You can see why the Indians are excited about the future of Bauer. And top fastball will get up to 98 miles an hour. He's been in the 95 mile per hour range all night long. Breaking balls are not as sharp as they're going to be, but that fastball has got electricity with it.
Bauer, when he was at UCLA, and even when he got into professional baseball, had his own way of getting ready for starts. And his stretching routines were different than most of his teammates. And when that translated into professional baseball, that there was some talk that maybe that turned some people off in the Diamondbacks system, and he heard all the whispers.
And Gibby didn't like it very much. I know that.
Yeah, he was pretty outspoken about it. The 2-2 is hammered in the air to center field. Bourne is on the run, still going back. He is looking up, and Avila hit that one off the top of the wall.
That's a homer.
Alex is still running hard, going to third base. He is in right now with a triple. And they will finally call it a home run. Now Avila, who slid into third base, is going to be given a homer. Five to 2 ball game.
You can hear it hit the railing.
Well, it appears the umpires now are going to take a look at this, and just to make sure that ball was hit out. It wasn't called a home run initially, and Avila was running hard to third base. This home run is under review. It's not going to take long. It is a home run. That's Tim Wilkie, who is the crew chief, making this signal.
Avila has demonstrated a lot of power in that direction in this ballpark. Last year hit a big home run in this ballpark real late in the game. The Tigers were able to capture a victory here in this particular ballpark, and last year he doubled he doubled in that same area.
Here is Danny Worth. Flat out back in the second. Worth batting .240 now for the Tigers, getting the start at short tonight. Here's a base hit to right field. Danny goes the other way and has his first hit of the evening. So the Tigers have had at least one base runner in every inning so far. And they've only been able to cash in 2 runs to this point, but still a lot of baseball to be played here. Here's Rajai Davis, who bounced out back in the third. Oh, and 1 on Davis. Rajai had a double, 2 RBIs in the ball game last night. He's trailing Jose Altuve now of the Houston Astros, second in the American League in steals. Altuve has 15, Rajai with 14. Now it's 0-2.
Since 2008, you have the top 2 thieves in stealing bases here in the ballpark tonight. Michael Bourne in center field first, and Rajai Davis is second on that list. Ooh.
Davis out on strikes, and a ball that, well, didn't make it to home plate. 5 strikeouts now for Bauer. 1 on, 1 out. That'll bring up Kinsler. Ian had a base hit back in the third, 1 for 2. Tigers have 5 hits now on the scoreboard. And Kinsler running his hitting streak to 6 in a row. Ball 1 to Ian.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on the velocity of the fastball that Trevor Bauer is featuring tonight. 97 has been his top fastball. He's gone as low as 77 with the breaking ball. He's very slow to home plate. If Danny Worth wants to steal a base, he probably could. But he better get a good jump because Gomes behind the plate, although he's committed a lot of errors this year. A 9 coming in. He can really throw. He's got a good arm. Strong arm. Ooh, good pitch.
One now on Kinsler. Hunter will be next. Ian now with 11 hits on this road trip. His average up over 300. Tigers got 1 in the first. They've added 1 more here in the 5th. They've hit a couple of solo shots tonight. Here's a drive to left field. Ball is hit well, and that one is off the wall. Worth on his way to third, stops there, throw to second, and Ian is out. There is no doubt the Tigers are more aggressive on the bases this year, but sometimes stuff like that is going to happen.
Well, Kinsler running with his head down. He just assumed that he was going to get 2 there because he has good speed, but what he did not factor in the decision is Michael Brantley in left field is an outstanding defender, and he has a good arm. He gets lots of assists, and he's very accurate with his throwing arm. I mean, he threw a strike to the second baseman, Aviles, and the ball was waiting on Ian Kinsler. Michael Brantley doing it all in the first 2 games of this series.
Brantley now with 5 outfield assists. That'll leave Worth at third now with 2 outs for Torrey Hunter. Fouled back out of play. Base hit for Kinsler. He's thrown out on the play. 7-4. One on Torrey, who homered in the first inning to left center field, his 6th of the year. And right now trying to pick up Worth with a 2-out hit. Ball low and away. 1-1 on Hunter. Bauer has faced the minimum just once. That was in the 3rd when he gave up a hit to Kinsler, but got a double play ball for Battitori. Every other inning, the Tigers have made a little noise as you look at the pitch count by inning. Up to 70 now for Bauer. One and two. And again, a hitter with a look back at Gabe Morales on that high strike. Here's Cabrera waiting on deck. Crowd noise beginning to swell up now. And the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. As Grubel Cabrera to his left. That'll end the inning. Tigers settle for a 1-run on the home run by Alex Avila. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit. Presented by Bell Tire. As the Tigers get one back, and just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Alex Avila has just gone deep. Third home run of the season. Tigers have hit a couple of homers tonight, but still trail 5-2. The Indians' last couple of innings have had a chance to pile a few more runs on, but Verlander has kept them at bay after giving up that big 4-run second. It'll be Carlos Santana, Nick Swisher, Yan Gomes here in the bottom of the fifth. JV at 90 total pitches now, and he misses up and in to Santana. Fly ball and a single in this game for Santana. Here's the 1-0. Verlander tonight has been 10 of 24 on first pitch strikes. He's been behind 1-0 on a lot of hitters tonight. He's fallen behind 2-1. Now 2-2 on Santana. Santana being counted on to be one of their bigger run producers. Likewise Nick Swisher, but Santana this year batting just 158 with men in scoring position. Here's the 2-2, and he struck him out. First out of the fifth. And just the second strikeout of the game for Verlander. Here's Swisher. Starting to emerge from that early season slump. Swisher had a 2-hit game and an RBI last night. 2 more hits here tonight. Foul straight back 0-1. Single and a double tonight for Swisher. He has had 9 consecutive years of at least 20 home runs. He has hit only 3 so far this season. Popped up. Castellanos on the grass.
Let's get you caught up with the Comerica Bank game summary. Tigers got on the board first. Torrey Hunter with a long home run. Justin went to the mound in the second inning, and he gave up quite a few hits. Aviles, he had a big hit. He drove in a couple, and they really haven't stopped hitting since then. He's given up 10 hits total in this contest, quite a few in that second inning. Avila got the Tigers on the board again. It was a solo shot. It was into left center field. They had to wait momentarily before they gave him the home run call, but it stood as a homer for Avila.
5 in a row retired by Verlander now. With 2 outs, here's Yan Gomes. Strikeout and a walk for the Cleveland catcher. Gomes came in batting .320 in the month of May, pumping his average up overall to .274. The 1-0 is on the outer edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Avila again taking the brunt of that foul ball. Verlander down to 100 pitches, 1-0-0. And we're in the 5th inning. We mentioned that Verlander 113 in that start in 5 innings against Cleveland.
You want to be right around 16 to 18 pitches in any inning, and you can see Verlander well above that in several innings here tonight.
2-2. Hard hit ball to left. That'll get to the wall. Gomes motoring to second. He is in with a 2-out double. So the Indians keep their streak alive of at least one base runner in every inning so far tonight. 8th double of the year for Yan Gomes.
It's a 2-2 breaking ball that Gomes went down to get and hit it extremely hard off that 325 sign. This is the hardest that Verlander's been hit this year.
Vila showing bunt. Got himself a 2-run double in this game. 11 hits given up by JV in this contest. But again, in the last couple of innings, the Indians have had a chance to get some add-on runs. Missed it low. Drive tonight 4 for 10 with men in scoring position. Did much of that damage early on. They got themselves a 4-run second to race out to a 5-1 lead. Hopped him up. Looks like they'll strand another. Kinsler coming over, calls off Cabrera. And nothing comes of the 2-out double as Gomes is stranded. 5 in the books here in Cleveland as we go to the 6th. 5-2 ball game. Here at Progressive Field in Cleveland, the Tigers need to get the offense going here. They've shown a little bit in this ball game tonight, but need a whole lot more. The Tigers in the month of May are 13-4, and here's a big reason why.
And Miggy and Victor leading the charge. Miguel with 24 RBIs. Victor just 13. And Victor not left many to drive in because Miggy's driving them all in. Therefore, Victor having to drive in his runs with homers.
In the middle of the lineup coming up here in the 6th inning against Trevor Bauer, it'll be Cabrera, Martinez, Jackson. 5 runs, 11 hits tonight for Cleveland. 2 runs, 6 hits for Detroit. Miggy with a double to start things off in the 4th. Tigers couldn't score him though, and it's 0-1 with a wave and a miss. 1 out of 2 tonight for Cabrera.
And Bauer came out throwing a lot of fastballs, but the last couple of innings he's gone to his breaking ball, and he's led. They got ahead of a couple of these Tigers with that breaking ball.
The 2-base hit by Cabrera back in the 4th extends his hitting streak to a season high 11. Two and 1. Earlier this year in the month of April, Cabrera picked up his 2,000th career hit. Bauer with the 2-1 pitch. Fouled away. 2-2 now on Miggy. Series closing out tomorrow as the Tigers wrap up this road trip. Scherzer and McAllister tomorrow afternoon. Bouncer back up the middle. They had him played beautifully. Aviles was right behind the bag at second. Literally, and he hit it right to him.
Talked about Victor Martinez and the monster May that he has had, but focus for me on the lower half of his body here, how the hips just simply rotate because the legs are underneath him. He's got that firm front side which he's hitting up against, and that's what Victor was missing the first half of last season because he underwent that surgery. But now lots of confidence. Doesn't matter whether it's left-handed or right-handed. Victor getting himself in a really good position to hit, and he's done major damage here lately.
Strikeout, ground out tonight for Martinez.
For you kids at home, the legs, make no mistake about it, the most important part of your swing. And you've got to have a really good foundation if you're going to take the proper path with your hands. You can't be dominant with your upper body.
Up and in.
He's done a lot of that tonight to the right-handers and the left-handers. But as hot as the Tigers hitters are, you have to do whatever you can to make them uncomfortable. Kluber tried that last night against Miggy. Miggy's first time up, it worked, but Miggy went on to get 3 hits after that.
Two and 1 the count. Even the count now, 2-2.
$11 homers already this year for Victor Martinez. Only 12 in 2011. 14 of those last year.
2-2 is low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Martinez, with the start he's gotten off to with the long ball this year, almost assuredly will reach the 20 plateau. He has done that before.
And Victor will also hit the free agent market in the offseason, and there's no doubt there will be a lot of potential buyers for Victor Martinez if he continues up this pace.
5 times he's hit over 20.
He might just end up being the premier hitting prospect to hit. Well, I shouldn't say prospect, but a premier hitter to hit the free agent market this fall.
Based on the numbers he's put up so far.
Hanley Ramirez of the Los Angeles Dodgers, also a free agent who is a real nice performer.
Here's Jackson's had a tough night, couple of strikeouts. Ball up high, and now time called by Gomes. He runs out to the mound. Bauer right now at 84 pitches here in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jackson. Crockett, the left-hander, warming up in the bullpen for the Indians, and their bullpen by and large has been good this year. They've got the 3rd best ERA among any bullpen, or all of the bullpens in the league. Only Boston and Oakland are better. Missing high, and now Jackson ahead of the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. You've got Castellanos, and then you've got Avila due up. Fouled away. 2-2 the count. Jackson now just 2 for 20 on the road trip. Tigers trying to string together some hits here. They're down 5-2. Up and in again, and now the count goes to 3-2. Tigers getting 2 runs in this game, both on solo homers. Hunter in the 1st and Avila in the 5th. Fouled away. Tigers came in leading the American League with a .278 average. The Indians have struggled in that regard, yet tonight they have 11 hits versus Justin Verlander. Another foul back out of play as Jackson continues to battle Bauer.
Doing a nice job of fouling off some pitchers' pitches. And the previous fastball that Jackson fouled off was 96 miles an hour. That one had a lot of giddy up on it as well. And Bauer, 90 pitches in, still has that good fastball.
58 strikes, 32 balls out of the 90 he has thrown.
He is doing exactly what the Indians wanted him to do when they sent him down to the minors to start the season. They throw more strikes and tighten up his breaking balls.
He walked him. Back-to-back walks, and now the Tigers are in business here in the 6th.
And Jackson displayed a real good eye to take this 3-2 fastball down and in.
Mickey Callaway coming out now after the back-to-back walks. Hey, this Saturday the Tigers face the Texas Rangers at 408 in the 20th annual Negro Leagues tribute game. The first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Stars replica cap. For ticket information, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com and score yourself one of those Detroit Stars caps. So Bauer gets some words of encouragement, a couple of pats on the back, and now he's going to deal with Nick Castellanos. .290 this year with men in scoring position. Nick's got 4 home runs this year. He's a long ball away here from tying this contest up.
He knows he's going to get a breaking ball or 2 from Bauer in this pitch sequence. If you're Castellanos, you just need to make sure that you force Bauer in getting the break ball up, one that you can handle. That was a good one to hit right there.
Strikeout, fly out for Castellanos. A fly ball to center field in the 4th after Cabrera had led off the inning with a double. The Tigers could not score him. Bauer's 0-1. 0-2. Brian Shaw now has joined Kyle Crockett. Oh, and 2 on Castellanos. Bouncing ball right side. Swisher to second one. Relay. Dug out, not in time. And we'll get an argument on this one. Bauer was showing Tim Timmons the baseball. And now Terry Francona will get an explanation here.
Little excuse me swing there by Castellanos. Swisher, the first baseman, was well off the bag at first. He got the ball to Cabrera. Bauer did a nice job of getting to the bag, but he was called safe. Castellanos.
Really close, but I think Nick just beat it. And they're going to challenge. So Francona's going to take a shot here.
Tim Timmons, first base umpire, had a really good look at it. He was right on top of it.
So Tim Welke, the crew chief, puts on the headsets. He'll be in touch with New York.
One of the things I've noticed about some of the replays lately, they're not taking nearly as long as they did the first couple of weeks of the season. There were some that were early in the year that were taking 3 minutes.
Major League Baseball said that in the first month of the year, the average time was 2 minutes 18 seconds. When it gets to be 3.5 minutes, that gets to be pretty long. So for now, Castellanos is safe. And we'll see what the verdict is. Maybe not. They're showing it on the big board here. So the fans voicing their displeasure with the call.
It was a nice play by Bauer.
It really was. Nice backhanded pick out of the dirt.
And he didn't hesitate getting to the bag, which is what you're taught in spring training to do. Anything hit to the right side of the infield, you've got to get over to first base, and Bauer did that in a timely manner.
Well, this one's taken a while. Again, the umpires here at the ballpark had nothing to do with looking at the replay here. This is all being done in New York, and Tim Welke right now is just waiting for the decision. And now he's gotten it. Oh, they called him out. That's a double play. Tigers get a couple of walks, but end up with nothing. We go to the bottom of the 6th here in Cleveland. Still 5-2 Indians. The AT&T fan photo of the game tonight. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Justin Verlander is going back to the hill as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Tigers still trail this one 5-2. Got the top of the order to deal with now. It's Bourne, Cabrera, Brantley. Ground ball second base, and right there is Kinsler. One away here in the 6th. Highest pitch count of the year for Verlander is 119. Did that against the White Sox April 22nd. He's at 107 right now. Every start has gone at least 100 pitches for Mr. JV this year.
That's one of the things that you know coming in, if you're the opposing team, that more often than not Verlander is going to be out there for at least 100. Now, is that going to be in the 6th inning or is that going to be in the 8th inning? Today just happens to be in the 6th inning.
Cabrera, 2 singles and a walk. Swing and a miss. There is action in the Detroit bullpen. That would be Evan Reed. Ball high from Verlander, 1-1. 4 hits in the series now for Asdrubal Cabrera. Had a double in last night's contest. Verlander gave up 1 in the 1st and then the 4-run second. That remains the difference in this contest. 2-1.
Tigers rolled into Cleveland yesterday. Hottest team in baseball, having won 11 consecutive games on the road. In the Tribe, they were struggling. Just got swept by Oakland at home, and they won that game last night. And they're in a real good situation here tonight.
Fly ball left field, chasing Rajay Davis back.
I guess that's what they say why you play the games.
Well, the Tigers were 13-4 in the month of May, which, as we've seen how good this team has been, it really kind of gives you an appreciation for what it must have been like to go 35-5 back in '84.
That was pretty surreal.
Here's Brantley now with 2 outs. Verlander trying for his first 1-2-3 inning of this ball game. Brantley is 1 for 3, couple of fly balls and a single. Here's strike 1. They're the best record since April the 23rd. Tigers are 15-6. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chisenhall waiting on deck. Verlander, although struggling, has not allowed a run since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, Tigers have been able to bend Cleveland starter here tonight, Trevor Bauer, but they have not been able to break him. He's not had a 1-2-3 inning all night.
Indians last night left 14 men on base, yet they won the ball game. They've left 7 more on base in this game. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Brantley. Throw to center field. Jackson going back almost to the warning track, and Verlander has his 1-2-3 inning. 6 in the books. Tigers down 5-2. Five to 2 in favor of the Indians. They're trying to make it 2 straight over the Tigers. And here are the numbers on Trevor Bauer, who has thrown 94 pitches in this ballgame. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and he has allowed 2 solo homers, 1 to Hunter and 1 to Avila, for the only Tigers runs in this game. And it's going to be Avila starting things off in the 7th. He'll be followed by Worth and then Davis. First pitch swinging, lines one to right, base hit. Alex starting to heat up now.
Yes, he is.
On base for the 3rd time in this game.
Now, Vila got a ball at the top of the strike zone and just absolutely crushed the ball to right field.
Indians are going to go to the bullpen here in the 7th inning. It's going to be it for Bauer, who should get a nice round of applause as he departs. And Bauer gives up the baseball. Part of the future for the Indians rotation. Wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back.
here against the Tigers. This is our bell tire pitch by pitch. Did not have 1-1-2-3 inning in the contest, but every time he got himself in a little bit of a jam, he was able to pitch himself out of that jam. He got helped by his defense. They turned 2 double plays behind him, and then he kind of did the rest. Just a few strikeouts in this game. Fastball up to 97 miles an hour, some good changeups, and some occasionally good breaking balls.
Final numbers, well, I guess they're not final yet. 6+ innings. He is still responsible for the runner at first of Vila. 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. A couple of runs for Bauer, and he will give way to Brian Shaw, who takes over now out of the bullpen. Danny Worth looks at ball 1.
And Shaw came in last night's game after Kluber gave up a base hit in the 8th. He went on to retire the next 3 batters that he faced, and you can see he's been really good lately, only giving up 2 earned runs in his last 18 games.
A little bit outside, and the count goes 2-0 now on Worth.
He throws a lot of cut fastballs. That was a lot cut fastball, that last pitch to Danny Worth. They go from anywhere at 90 miles an hour to 96. Also throws a slider. Does not throw many changeups. Mostly hard stuff from Shaw.
And he missed again. 3-0. Cleveland tonight featuring a couple of pieces that they got in that trade with the Diamondbacks. Shaw came over with Bauer in that deal. He's got the number 9 hitter Davis on deck. Now the 3-0. 3-1 on Worth. And he cuts and misses right through a fastball. The count is 3-2. Mentioned earlier, this Indians bullpen has been a bright spot for them, with 3.28 ERA as a club. And Crockett's still warming up the lefty. He's been up for an inning or so. Fouled away. Remember when the Tigers bullpen was an ERA like in the high 5s?
I do remember that.
It wasn't too long ago. Well, now it's in the low 4s. They've continued to knock it down with some really good appearances. Full count.
Tigers bullpen has only given up 2 runs on the road trip.
To center field, Bourne will call for it. And Avila retreats, 1 out. It's Rajai Davis. Tigers tonight have 7 hits scattered throughout their lineup, mostly at the top. You see Kinsler with a couple of knocks.
Martinez, Jackson, Castellanos quiet so far in this game.
Bunted to third, foul. Rajai tonight ground out strikeout. Tigers got a home run from Hunter in the first inning, but they've trailed since. The Indians tied it up in the first and went ahead with 4 in the second. Torrey's home run tonight went over 400 feet, 429 to left center. The 0-1. Right at the first baseman on a line, and that's going to be a double play.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
3 unassisted. And that's it for the Tigers. We are headed to the stretch here in Cleveland. pitching change.
Evan Reed, a major reason why that Tigers bullpen, their numbers have gone down drastically in the month of May versus April. He's been in a total of 14 games this year, a couple of holes and a sub 3 ERA, 9 strikeouts for Evan. He's walked only 3 batters.
Let's bring you the Bernstein advantage tonight. We're going to go with the Tigers bullpen since May the 1st. They have had the Bernstein advantage on, well, everybody they've played.
Kind of go hand in hand as the starters have gotten hot and gone out there and put up lots of zeros, and most of them have gone 7 innings each night. The bullpen has kind of shaped itself into form.
So that Tiger pen tonight will try and keep this a 3-run game and hope the offense can come alive here late. Lonnie Chisenhall will start things off, then David Murphy and Carlos Santana. Verlander goes 6, gives the baseball now to Evan Reed. Five runs, 11 hits tonight for Cleveland. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. Game 2 in this series after the Indians walked off with a win last night in the 10th. 2-0 the count. RBI single back in the first for Chisenhall.
Evan Reed, probably the hardest thrower out of that Tigers bullpen. His fastball is clocked at 96, 97 miles an hour nightly.
Just fouled away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Murphy on deck. Appearance number 17 for Evan Reed. Albuquerque leads the team of the bullpen pitchers with 22 appearances this year. But Reed has gotten plenty of opportunities, and Evan, for the most part, has responded. He's done well. Reed facing the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in this inning. Sliced on a little loop toward the shortstop and caught by Danny Worth. 1 gone here in the 7th. Saturday is a full day of Major League action, beginning with the Rangers taking on the Tigers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the season premiere of Baseball Night in America on Fox as the Cardinals battle the Reds. The Royals square off against the Angels, or the Nationals take on the Pirates. Our Major League Baseball doubleheader begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and then continues at 7 p.m. on Fox. Here's Murphy now with the bases empty. He shoots one down the line, right field, hit deep, and it is gone. Murphy with a line drive home run inside the foul pole, and the Indians get another run. 4th of the year for Murphy.
And David Murphy went up there looking for that first pitch fastball. He kind of cleared his hips out of the way, anticipating that that ball was going to be inside. He got out in front of it and drove it out of here, and he continues his torrid pace against Tigers pitching. And also, more importantly, he hits very well in his home ballpark here in Cleveland.
Add-on run for the Indians. They now lead 6-2, and here is Santana. Cleveland has 12 hits in this ballgame tonight. That is their first home run of the evening.
Only the 2nd home run that Evan Reed has given up this year.
Big swing there by Santana. 1-2 the count.
There are the career numbers for David Murphy against Tigers pitching. 300 batting average, 10 homers. He's driven in 31.
Santana has a single tonight, batting just 152.
And Santana's getting to that point during the course of the season where he has 158 at bats. It's not going to be easy to dig himself out of this hole.
I wonder, and I don't know, but do you think the position changes had anything to do with it?
I do. I agree with you 100%. I think that he has worked so hard at perfecting a third base and working tirelessly in spring training.
And that's going to land harmlessly in foul ground.
And during the course of the season, and I think the fact that he's still learning that position sometimes affects his hitting. I do believe that 100%.
To the point where now, as you mentioned, as you get toward June, it really is hard to climb out of that hole.
And with the way that Chisenhall is starting to swing the bat, Terry Francona is taking every opportunity to DH Santana. I would not be shocked if he's a full-time DH here in Cleveland in the next couple of years.
Well, they need him to get going if they want to get back into this race. And they need the same out of Swisher as well.
Swisher has taken some steps in that direction this series.
Off the plate outside, 3-2. There was Swisher waiting on deck, 2 out of 3 tonight.
On base 3 times last night.
Swing and a miss.
Outstanding slider there thrown by Evan Reed. The previous fastball was 96 miles an hour. He took 12 miles per hour off. And giving you the same arm slot, same arm speed. And when you've got that kind of deception, you're going to get hitters to swing right over the top of this pitch.
Tigers will put the shift on now for Swisher as Castellanos moves over to the right side. Swisher a single, a double, and a pop-up. Average up over 200 now at 212. Swisher prior to the start of this series was hitting 196. Two and 0 the count. Verlander started, won 6 innings and gave up 5 early runs in this contest, but after the second inning did not allow anything. Two and 1.
Indians did a very nice job of putting together some very positive plate appearances against Justin Verlander in the first 2 innings. And a lot of times that's when you have to get a really good pitcher. You have to get them early before they settle in. And even though Verlander wasn't great today, following the second inning, he put up zeros.
On the outer edge, a strike on Swisher, now 2-2. Nick began his career in the big leagues with Oakland, spent 4 years in the major leagues with the A's, 4 years as well with the Yankees. He had a year mixed in there with Chicago. He really struggled with the White Sox. 234 career home runs. And the 2-2 swing and a miss struck him out. A couple of strikeouts for Evan Reed. Murphy homers, though, to give the Indians another run. Time to get the bats going. They've got Kinsler, they've got Hunter, they've got Cabrera coming up. 6-2 now as we go to the 8th inning. Swisher in the series 4 for 8, so he has come alive a little bit. The Twins offense 12 hits in this game, and it's been Hunter and Avila with solo home runs each, and that has been it for the Tigers offensively. However, they do have the top of the lineup coming up here in the 8th inning, so you might as well make it happen right now. Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera. Two out of 3 tonight. A couple of singles for Ian Kinsler. He sits safely in 6 in a row. It's been really a very good road trip for Kinsler. Shaw came on. That was in the 7th inning after the leadoff single by Avila. Trevor Bauer taken out of the game. Shaw eventually got a double play and a line drive. And Kinsler looks at strike one. The 8th inning is underway here in Cleveland. Driven in the air toward left field. Brantley coming toward the corner. Kinsler retired.
Shaw got away with one there. A hanging breaking ball that Ian saw come out of his hand, but he was just a little bit too quick on it. And he hit it off right off the end of the bat. Good pitch to hit here. Right off the end of the bat.
Here's Torrey Hunter. Solo shot his 6th of the year. And he pulls this one to third. Diving play by Chisenhall. Ooh, that had double written all over it down the line.
And Torrey got himself a breaking ball as well. Hit it rather hard right at Lonnie Chisenhall. Chisenhall hitting well with that bat, and he's also a really good defender at third.
Indians have had some struggles with the glove this year, leading the American League in errors. They were out early today, taking some extra defensive or running through some defensive drills. Here's Cabrera. Strike one to Miggy. And he now will have a little bit of a confab with Gabe Morales.
And Miggy telling Gabe Morales he thought that ball came around the plate. That cut fastball at 92.
Now it's 0-2 on Cabrera. Miguel tonight with a double that happened back in the 4th, stretching his hitting streak to 11 straight. Fouled away. Should Cabrera reach, you've got Martinez waiting in the on-deck circle.
And Victor still looking for his first hit of the evening. He also has a nice hitting streak going right now. 10 games.
The 0-2. Bouncing ball to third, foul. Tigers tonight have 7 hits, 2 of them long balls. And they've also hit into 3 double plays in this game. Checked it outside. 1-2 on Miguel. Gomes held it there. 2-2.
Miguel will let you know when it's a strike.
Yeah, exactly. That one wasn't. Here's the 2-2. Did he go? No, he did not, and now it's 3-2.
Miguel has done such a marvelous job of laying off some very close pitches that Shaw continues to throw. Gabe Morales not giving in to Shaw, but it's an indication of the eye that Miggy has when he's standing in that batter's box. He makes you give him a good pitch to hit.
Fouled away.
Shaw is flirting with danger now. Miggy's got a real good look at that cutter. If he throws him another one, those cutters go a long way because they don't have much bite to them. They kind of go east to west in the strike zone. And if you miss at your location, look out.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Good breaking ball there by Shaw.
Shaw wins that battle. It's a 1-2-3 eighth inning. It's a 9-pitch at bat that results in a strikeout. We'll go to the bottom of the eighth.
This game tonight with their final 3 outs. They're trailing by 4 runs, and here is our Nissan drive of the game. It started out very promising for Detroit, and Torrey Hunter got himself a mid-90s fastball at the bottom of the zone from the starter Trevor Bauer, and hit it 429 feet from home plate.
Evan Reed back out there facing Yan Gomes, and then Mike Aviles, Michael Bourne as we play here in the bottom of the 8th. 6-2 in favor of the Indians in game 2 in this series. First pitch up and in to Gomes. Double, walk, run scored tonight for the Indians catcher. Series finale happening tomorrow. It's a noon start here. McAllister, Scherzer will get together. Then it's back home as the Rangers come to town for a 4-game set. Here's the 1-0. Breakdown on Evan Reed after taking over in the 7th inning. Gave up the home run to David Murphy. And made it a 6-2 ball game. And the 1-1. Reed thought he had a strikeout there. Not so, says Gabe Morales. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Driven to right field and hit well. Torrey Hunter going back, gonna have room. 1 gone. Hey, by the way, Fox Sports supports or is proud to recognize the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. If you'd like to learn more, visit goldstarpins.org. goldstarpins.org for more information. Here's Mike Aviles. 2-run double early in this game that highlighted the big 4-run frame that the Indians had against Verlander. In for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, we told you at the beginning of the game that Terry Francona with 3 switch hitters and 4 lefties. The 4-7 hitters Verlander saw in the lineup today were all lefties. But Verlander had great numbers against left-handers coming into the game.
0-2. Pulled foul. Ball hit hard. We'll rattle around. To the count on Mike Aviles. His playing time has gone up. Obviously, with the injury to Jason Kipnis.
He's getting close to coming back.
Kipnis has been out since the end of April. They certainly need him. Really good player. Here's the 0-2. Ball high. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. And Aviles is out of there.
3rd strikeout for Evan Reed since coming into the game.
Let's check in with John Keating.
All right, Mario, it's a homecoming here for Omar Vizquel, who spent 11 years with the Indians. And on the Tigers Live pregame show, we got a chance to talk to him about one of his true loves. We find out that Omar Vizquel is an artist. He loves to paint. In fact, he told us that a couple of his paintings have fetched $5,000 each over the course of his artistic career. So Omar Vizquel looking for his Tigers to make a comeback here tonight. We'll have post-game reaction on the Tigers Live post-game show. Trevor Thompson and Craig Monroe in our Call Sam studios in just a matter of moments, unless the Tigers come back, and we certainly hope for that, guys.
All right, John, thanks very much. We've got 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Tigers down to their final 3 outs. There's a ball low to Michael Bourne.
I think you see a lot of players at this level pick up hobbies. You see a lot of the Tigers players carrying guitars on the plane, and I'm sure they get together in the rooms on the road and just go up there and play. I really don't know what it sounds like, but several guys do carry those guitars around. I remember Miguel Batista of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was a writer. I mean, he wrote books.
Poetry,
yeah.
Well, in the lobby the other night, as we were waiting for rooms after the Tigers had to go back to Boston because of the plane problems, Danny Wirth pulled out the guitar.
He did?
Yeah, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Just started strumming in the lobby. Ball missing outside, 2-2.
They also got together the following day before we boarded our plane to finally come to Cleveland. They were in Starbucks, and a couple of the guys had their guitars out.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
You have so much free time, and you have to figure out something to keep you occupied and keep you out of trouble. Also take your mind off the game too.
Bourne has a couple of doubles in this contest. Little chopper right back to the mound. Reed will handle this one, and Bourne is out. It's a 1-2-3 8th inning, which means we go to the ninth.
Field played perfectly off the wall by Michael Brantley, who has turned into a Tiger killer on both sides of the ball. The 5th assist from that position for Brantley on the season.
Got a new pitcher now for the Cleveland Indians as we go to the 9th inning. Cody Allen has come on.
And Cody Allen blew a save last night. It was J.D. Martinez hitting a solo shot to a straightaway center field to tie the game, which sent the game into extra innings. But if you're the manager, Terry Francona, what you like to do is get your reliever right back out there after a rough outing, and he's doing that tonight with Cody.
Trevor Bauer started this game, went 6+1 batter, gave way to Shaw, who went 2 innings, and now Cody Allen here in the 9th.
And Cody only has 2 pitches, mid-90s fastball, and he's got a pretty good curveball. You know, we were talking about Trevor Bauer, the starter of the Cleveland Indians tonight. He was in that draft class of 2011. He was the first member of that draft class to get to the big leagues. And Cody Allen, he was second in that 2011 draft.
One big difference, though, Cody Allen was selected in the 23rd round.
Yeah, he pitched his way to the movies.
Led the club last year with 77 appearances.
Comes right after you. And that's what he did to J.D. Martinez yesterday, but Martinez made him pay.
Victor Martinez leading it off. 1 ball, 1 strike on Victor.
And Victor trying to extend his hitting streak to 11. He's got a lot of room down that left field line. And should Allen throw him something away, and Victor very much capable of hitting something in that direction.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled back out of play. Jackson and then Castellanos to follow.
Victor looking to extend his hitting streak to 9 games. Currently sitting at 8 games.
Miggy extended his to 11 earlier in the game with a double. Kinsler has a 6-gamer. Here's the 1-2. high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Victor reaching on a walk in the 6th. It looked like the Tigers might have something going. Back-to-back walks against Bauer in the 6th inning, and then Castellanos hit into a double play, which was challenged on a review. They initially called Nick safe at first. Swing and a miss. Man, Martinez went at a ball that almost hit him. One out. Here's Jackson. AJ tonight, couple of strikeouts. He is 1 for 7 career against Allen. Not a whole lot of success. 4 Ks. Checked it. Strike 1. .267 now for Austin on the year. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Sleepy night for the Tigers offense tonight. 2 runs. They do have 7 hits, but again, the double play balls, they've hit 3 of them, which has helped out the cause for Indians pitching.
Trevor Bauer, he was a little bit better than Justin Verlander tonight, and that's why he stands to win this contest.
Swing and a miss.
Allen throwing some gas here tonight. Some easy gas.
One and 2. .96 that time from Allen, up and in. Castellanos will be next. Bouncing ball to short. 2 steps to his left. Cabrera. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th. Tigers down to the final out. The Indians trying to make it 2 straight against the red-hot Tigers team that had won 11 consecutive road games coming into the series. Nick 0 for 3. Hit into a double play in his last at bat. Now it's 0-2. $13,924 in attendance tonight here in Cleveland, and they're on their feet looking for the final strike. Tigers got 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th tonight. That's it, and a couple of solo homers. Bouncing ball to 3rd. Flattened down on Chisenhall, stays with it, and the Indians have won the first 2 games in this series. A 1-2-3 9th inning for Cody Allen. And there is your final score. Cleveland a winner tonight behind Trevor Bauer. A 6-2 final. So the Tigers will lace them up tomorrow and try and avoid the sweep in the final game of the series. We'll be back.